What's up people, Orsicorse here, coming at you with another Paragon deck build. Today we're going to take another look at my girl Muriel. I reworked her deck after the 38.3 patch, so added a universal card in there, changed the deck up a little bit, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So I started with the Centurion. Dekker is going to be heavy support, not so much worried about the damage with her. So I'll go with the Centurion. At 500 health does help, more so than the power does, I believe. So I go with that, help with survivability, take a couple of hits. The consumables, I filled her consumables up. For early game, I go mana potion. No, X that. I go Mender's Vial, Shepherd's Vial, and then Scout's Ward. I like these cards because they heal you and they give mana back to your carry or whoever you're laning with, your whole team if they're by you. And Shepherd Vial for the same thing, it gives you mana, but it also heals whoever's nearby, your nearby allies, for 7 seconds. So I like these cards because it's like having an additional mana potion / health potion for your team. More specifically, probably the carry who's laning with you. So I like having these two cards. Scout's Ward, as I always say, I keep that because you want to have vision up on the field. Usually the team that has the least amount of vision is the one that loses. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit but if you don't have vision, you're at a disadvantage. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I have the Hunter Strength and the Shaman Strength for later game. Once these are not viable anymore, so once you get to about level 10, that little bit of health that they get back isn't really that big a deal. So then I swap out to the Shaman Strength and then the Hunter Strength. You can even say around level 7, you can swap for the Hunter Strength and the Shaman Strength because they'll be more beneficial for you basically. Now, early game, I usually build a couple of throwaways. Now, this is the one that I always build, no question. It's the Circlet of Health. So, unique passive, Health Regen Aura, grants 2.8 health regen to yourself and nearby allies. I like this because on top of my Shepherd's Vow, this card also gives us a constant 2.8 health regen. And then with the Mender's Vow and the Shepherd's Vow on top of that, you get some pretty good health regen going. So I like having that card out just because it gives us a little recovery. Now, a Circle of Mana, I may build this, I may not. It depends on how the game is running. Usually I'll skip this card, but just go over it. It gives you 50 health and it gives you the unique passive of Mana Regen. So 0.6 Mana Regen to yourself and nearby allies, and I equip that with just lesser health. The Circlet of Health I equip with basic manas. This one's optional. If you feel like you want it, you need that extra health early on, you can go for it. I usually leave it out though. And the card that I build next, and this is a card that I actually keep all game, is the Quenching Scales. So this card is 50 health, 0.3 mana regen, and the unique passive gives you 0.6 mana regen, which is why I say I may not build the Circlet of Mana. So that's up to you because I have the Quenching Scales, and for one more point I can go ahead and get that. Plus the unique passive that it has, or the unique active. Team Heal, heal yourself and nearby allies for 225 health and grant plus 21 basic armor for 20 seconds. Now, this card is awesome because not only does it heal, but it gives you basically a greater guard, which reduces a fair amount of the damage that you're taking and gives you back that health. So I like having this card, especially early game, because it really makes a difference early game. I think all game it's viable, but early game you definitely, when you see that 200 mana comes back to the enemy, that's like, oh man, because you know you're in for a fight. So I like having this card. Now, the Lord's Ward, you can build that early or you can build it late. I usually don't build it until end game, but that's completely up to you. We'll just go over it now just in case you do decide to build it early on. Sometimes I see people equip their wards early on and they don't fully upgrade it until late game. So if you need the extra vision, by all means go ahead and do that. I usually wait until end game for mine though. But the Lord's Ward is 30 mana, 50 health, 0.3 mana regen. More importantly, it gives you the Shadow Wards. So that's what I like about it. I keep wards in my deck because you want to have that vision. I equip this with 2 divine healths and a health. Now, you could argue that you can go with mana or regen, but with my deck, I have a pretty good mana pool, a little bit of regen. So I think the health is going to help me out a little bit better, and it seems to. Now, as we go down here, the cards that I build first are Tempest of the Pearl. Firstly, this card gives you 6 power, 4 ability armor, and it grants you plus 100 movement speed to yourself and nearby allies. to nearby allies, sorry. And I equipped this card with 3 minor casts, so a little bit of power. Now I might swap those out for the minor barriers because the power is kind of not really a big deal as I was trying it out. So I'll actually go with minor barriers now, but I just thought I'd give it a shot with the power. But it doesn't really make a difference. But the little bit of ability armor you can actually see. Now, once I get to this point, I'll go with the Honor of the Pure next. Usually by now I'm around level 10 or 11 or so. And Honor of the Pure, it gives you 50 health, 30 mana. I equipped it with 3 basic manas. And this is why I get it, for the unique active, the Team Shield. So consume 100 mana to shield yourself and nearby allies for 3 seconds, absorbing 125 plus 25 time player level damage. So any ally affected by Team Shield cannot activate or benefit from another Team Shield for 15 seconds. So I like this because of the shield. It basically gives you a Muriel shield. It absorbs 500 damage at in-game, so once you're at level 15, which is awesome. That on top of quenching scales is a very good combination because it basically means that your team or the enemy team has to hit you twice before they can kill you, especially if your timing is on it. So I like having Honor of the Pure. Now the next card that I build, and it depends. If I'm taking a lot of damage, I'll go with the Tempered Plate. I opted to go with the Tempered Plate over the Tomb Barrier just because with Dekker I tend to unless Bellica's on the team, I tend to have to worry more about the melee heroes than the casters for the most part. The casters I can pretty much avoid. So it seems like the melee characters are the ones that would give me trouble. So I went with the Tempered Plate. 7 basic armor, 50 health, and then 14 basic armor once you fully upgrade it. I equipped this with a Beta Guard, give me another 21 basic armor, and then 2 divine health. Now if you're not taking a bunch of damage, this is the second choice here. You can go with the Chrono Spike, and this card is 30 mana, 6 power, and once you fully upgrade it, it'll give you the 10 cooldown reduction. So, and that's not bad at all right there. So for this card I build an advanced mana and then 2 manas. Now I used to run it with power when I was trying to power deck, but Dekker, even with a power deck, she still isn't doing any massive damage. So I think having an additional mana, having additional health is a little more viable, especially for a support character. Now the last card in here, of course, like I said, is going to be the Lord's Ward unless you built it early on. So that is how I'm building my Dekker right now. She seems to be definitely a threat on the field. So if this deck looks interesting to you, try it out. Tell me how it works for you. Tell me if it's viable for you. I love hearing how other people view the decks, how the decks work for them. People, I also want you to put down in the comments, who is your favorite support right now? Because right now, I'm actually liking Narbash a lot. Dekker was my baby for a while, but Narbash is actually pretty dope. I'm liking him. So let me know who your favorite support is because I'm interested. As always, people, if you like the video, make sure to drop a like. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'd appreciate it, and it'll let you see all my stuff when it first comes out. I'm posting fairly often. Also, share the video out. It helps me out a lot, and maybe somebody else will find it my information useful. As always, people, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.